How you doing so far, brother?
Man, I'm doing good, bro. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Uh,
So, how about you introduce yourself? Tell everybody who you are, what you do, what we got going on.
yeah, well, my name is Juice. My real name is Jermaine, but everybody, friends and family call me Juice. I trade forex. I'm the founder of Winners Ambiance Investing Group. I founded Winners Ambiance in April of 2019. When I first started us, it was just four of us. What we do, we trade in the foreign exchange market.
Okay,
So we went from four to today. We have 131 people in our chat going right now. So just 13 months, we hit 130 people. And yeah, that's what I do. I trade in the foreign exchange market and I teach people how to do so.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So, when you were going from four to what is it, 131 now? What are
hmm
some of the struggles that you faced? What are some of the growing pains that you reached during that time?
Oh man, definitely a lot. I'll probably say the first one is really just kind of even thinking like you're having a vision and just people closest to you not believing in it. Like I know it's kind of cliche to hear it, but to actually experience it when it's like really someone that you love is kind of it's hard to take it. Like because you're like
Yeah.
you've known me from the beginning to now, so how could you not believe now? But that was probably one of the biggest struggles to overcome. Like my investment group, I really built WA off of Instagram. Like now I know a couple of people in the org, and I would probably say maybe I knew like six people before I started trading. I
Yeah.
started trading in December of 2019, but before then, it was really just building a network off of Instagram and just knowing like, the people close to me may not believe, but there's a million people out here, like so.
Yes.
And I watch Gary Vee a lot, so he helped me put that to perspective.
Absolutely. That's my guy right there.
That's my guy, man.
Oh yeah. So, when you're going on this process, do you use like goals? Like, what's your process like? Like, how do you set? Do you set mile markers, anything like that, to make sure that you attain your goals?
Yeah, definitely. I was lucky enough. I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. So I was lucky enough to be in an organization, and I was the vice president of my chapter. I went to University of Nevada, Reno, so I was a vice president there. Like my sophomore year of college, junior year of college, and I was able to learn how to run an organization, like just having principles and having initiatives and things like that, and like having a meeting, like I was able to experience that. So a lot of that stuff I really just applied to WA. Like the principles of WA is trading, building resources, and leadership. And then from there, we have goals. Like my biggest goal with WA, I want to have 1,000 people make $100 in a day. So I really try to gear like all our principles and all of our efforts and initiatives is really just geared towards that one common goal. But I was lucky to be able to learn that stuff outside of having my own business and organization. That it wasn't too hard to apply that information.
So, for someone who's never heard of forex trading, okay,
hmm
why don't you explain to them what you do and how you could help them make money?
Yeah, 1,000%. Just you, for example, have you ever been out of the country?
Yes, sir.
All right, where'd you go?
England.
England. All right, cool. So when you go to England, you have to exchange your U.S. dollars for the euro, right?
Yes.
Because the U.S. dollar is not accepted in every other place. So when you did the exchange, where'd you do it? At the airport or a bank?
The airport.
Airport, right? Because there's a foreign exchange kiosk in the airport.
Yeah.
So normally when this happens, so let's say me and you went to England and you took 1,000 US dollars and you exchanged it for however many so euros. And let's say I was like, all right, don't spend a single dollar while we're in England. Like everything's on me, bro. Like just see how much money you get back when you get back. So when you're to return to the US or when you went back to the airport, whichever one, and you exchange your money back, let's say you went from $1,000 to $1,100, right?
Yes.
So when this happens, most people they just know like, all right, one currency is more valuable than the other. Like they just think like that's the standard. Really, what it is the rate at which the United States dollar and the European dollar are exchanged at, which is the euro. The rate at which they're exchanged at constantly fluctuates. So this market is open 24 hours, 5 days a week. It's open. Market opens on Sunday, closes at Friday. Um, And that's what we do. So as forex traders, what we do is analyze the market. Like anyone can trade forex. If you learn how to analyze the market, tell you what the market is doing, we do that exact same exchange. All we just don't have to go to the airport or the bank to do it.
Yeah.
There's avenues like having a broker account where you can trade. We trade from our phones or our computers or anywhere that we can have Wi-Fi. Really.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I come on to Winners Ambiance. What is the benefit of joining your team? How are you going to help me make money?
Really, it's the mentorship aspect. Like I said, anybody can trade. Anybody can make a dollar with it. Like I've been trading for 17 months, and I'm a five-figure trader.
Yes.
And it wasn't just easy to do so. Like I've lost thousands of dollars in the market. Like it wasn't easy to do it, but
Yeah.
I kind of, and I don't want to, I kind of had a lack of mentorship. So a lot of the things that I had to figure out, but I've spent so many countless hours just in front of the screen, figuring it out, hitting stop loss, hitting take profits, like doing all this different stuff to where someone else were to come into my organization now, like their learning curve, I hope to cut that learning curve almost in half, really. Me trading 17 months, I feel like where I am today is where I probably should have been, 6 or 8 months ago,
Yeah.
something like that. But, I had to go through that curve. So coming into WA, that curve is going to be cut down. And also, like, an ambiance is an environment. So this is the environment for winning at all levels.
Yeah.
And in order to do so, like I really encourage the different things that one might be scared to do, which is asking for help or really asking questions. Like I tell every single person to my organization, like you ask any question you can possibly think of, because I would rather anybody ask a question than to ever think that it was too hard and that they couldn't do it, or like they should shy away from even asking.
Right.
And I know, like, every person isn't going to have the same intuition that you have. Every person isn't going to think the same that you do. But my job is to, at least if there is going to be an environment for you to do so, my job is to provide that environment, and which is what we do. That's why we've had a tremendous amount of, not even growth, but the retainment is the biggest thing, because I read in Think and Grow Rich, be people will be willing to serve you because of your willingness to serve others. And that was something that
Yeah.
resonated with me. And I'm glad I picked up on that early, because I'm willing to do anything for any single person in my organization. And then that just, it starts from the top down, and then it leads on to, other people, my other leaders, and everyone else that will come into the org. Like, that transition is going to be seamless. Like there's always going to be someone willing to help. And the goal really is for everyone to come in to be self-sufficient. I
Mhm.
don't want anybody to come into WA and depend on myself for, like, because we do send out signals. Like, so I send out trades to the entire team, where you can copy and paste and make money. But at the end of the day, the best thing that I could ever do is show you how to do this, rather than to show you how to just get a dollar.
Yeah.
And
Teach a
that's the
man to
biggest
fish.
thing. So exactly, like that's the biggest thing. That's what I'm biggest about. I'm really adept on teaching the skill. Like the skill is the most important aspect of what we even do. So I think those are some things that I like to harp on and emphasize inside of WA.
So one thing that you were touching on is that you have experienced some losses. You didn't have a mentor, and you went through some growing pains, and you like to save that for people with your organization. What was one of like the pivotal moments during your like trading career that you could look back on and say, I could definitely save people from that today?
Yeah, I would probably say um, super pivotal. I would probably say it would be the first time I blew a whole account in one day. Like an account that, it was only about the time, like a $500 account. But even still, like I saved up for this account, like knowing like I'm gonna save up for this, and as soon as I have my $500 and I get into the market, like I'm finna blow up. And my risk management
Yeah.
wasn't proper, revenge trading, doing all these things. Like I was doing all the things that I knew I wasn't supposed to do. Then at the end of one day, that $500 account, I have $46 like left in the account. I'm like, damn, I blew through, so
Wow.
much that I had saved up to do that. I blew through all of that in one day. And patience is the most important factor really in trading. Like I like to think of like trading as fishing, to be honest. Like it's kind of like fishing to me. Like I enjoy that same aspect of like just being patient and just waiting for a bite. Like as traders, like when you first trade, like everybody, your heart is that first dollar you see the first like 20 cents you see, your heart is going to fluctuate like, oh shit, like I'm
Yeah.
making money.
Yeah.
But it's learning that patience aspect and the risk management aspect. Like the key to trading is longevity. Like how long can you stay with this percentage growth that you're aiming for or achieving, rather than how fast can you make money, because anybody can make money in the market, but not everybody keeps it and not everybody is profitable. 96% of traders lose in the market, and really the 4% are probably the most patient people. Like they've really got that curve down to where they can be patient in the market. And I think that's the most important part.
Awesome. Awesome. So, are there any steps that you do to like manufacture the conditions to have like a good trade, a profitable trade? Like, what do you do to make it like your risk management? What do you do to make it safe and make sure that it's profitable?
You know, shout out to Mark Douglas. Everything that I'm probably gonna even say, like, it's kind of a reference to Mark Douglas. Like, I'll learn from the goats. Really, that's what I would tell anybody. But Mark Douglas, who was a trading coach, his thing is think like a professional trader. So think what a professional trader does. A professional trader always follows their trading plan. They recognize that they have an edge, but the market may not give them their edge every time, and they properly are managing their risk. And when they see their edge is there, that opportunity presents itself, they act without a hesitation. So really having a trading plan is probably the best thing. Like if you don't know what a pip is just it's how the market is measured. So we want to aim for so many amount of pips. So for me personally, if I get 30 pips, my trading plan is 30 pips per day. So each trade I call or even execute, I'm looking for 30 pips. If I hit my 30 pips, perfect. If I even see a number even close to that, the patience and wherewithal that I've gained to understand is I could take my money now and just look for a cleaner setup, because just knowing that there's an abundance of opportunities in the market, there's always going to be another opportunity. There's always going to be another trade. No trade is more significant than the other. So if you can understand that and you understand that the market is nothing more than a pattern that repeats itself, like it's a mathematic formula and it's going to repeat itself. So with that, there are certain patterns, but at the same time, patterns can be broken. So as a trader, you want to find what your edge is in the market. If you were to find what your edge is and you execute that edge every single time, knowing
Hmm.
that the patterns don't repeat itself, if you were to judge yourself out of a set of 20 to 25 trades, you would fare a lot better and you feel a lot better about what you're doing compared to judging yourself off each individual trade.
Yes.
That which is what a lot of traders do. A lot of traders who trade with their emotions, and each individual trade, like this trade is the trade that's supposed to make you money, but if it doesn't do so, then you feel down about it, compared to if you were to judge yourself in a series of things, taking your edge and executing that edge, and knowing that knowing that you cannot get the pattern that you're looking for, you will judge a lot better in doing that. So I think that's a key thing for all traders to really understand and really apply to their trading.
So I started trading stocks in December. Really started picking up in January. And what I
Hmm.
do is I look for the 52-week lows, look at all the charts, and go for 10% swings and try to grow 10% a day. And I've
Hmm.
taken $50 and I've basically turned it into 1,500.
Shit, that's amazing.
Yes. You just double up, double up, double up.
Do you trade options at all? Have you looked at options?
Not really. I'm not educated on it, so I haven't been diving into it.
I know. But one of my good friends, he started trading options recently. I don't know too much about it either, but
Yeah.
it's pretty much the same as stocks. It's more of a like more like the sports book incorporating stocks. From what I understand, I may be misspeaking, but
So let's say you continue the path you're on. Where do you
mhm.
see yourself in the next 5 years?
And the next 2025, ultimately, I see 1,000 people making $100 in a day. I see that being done.
Nice.
Maybe in the next, I would really give myself like 2 to 3 years to make that happen. And just know like that's more of like a time frame type of deal. Like it may not happen that time, it may happen later, but I don't really care. But in 5 years, I would want to see that happen. I would definitely want to see. One thing that I want to do is like I want to open a center for not only traders but just entrepreneurs in general. I was the type of person I didn't know that I would end up being an entrepreneur. I thought I'd be a football player, to be
Yeah.
honest, or a juvenile probation officer. It was really one of those two routes, and then trading just kind of came to me, and it's just something that I was able to do. And I've always been the type of person to reach out to people and have good friends around, and always want to uplift somebody else. So I want to continue doing that. Hopefully, having a center that's doing that. With I grew up in Las Vegas. I'm from Los Angeles originally, but I moved to Vegas when I was 10 years old. So giving back to Vegas, which is a place that I grew up in, and I want to, help the young youth here with any movement. Even if I was just teaching 4 kids, like I
Yeah.
wouldn't even care. But providing that mentorship for somebody else that wouldn't have it. Um, 5 years time, man, a lot could happen in 5 years. Like goals, trading wise, I definitely want to be man. 5 years from now, I definitely see myself. I want to be a multimillionaire for sure,
Yeah.
just from trading and reinvesting in my business and reinvesting into WA and kind of just sharing the opportunity with as many people as I possibly could. And
How are you gonna map
by
that out?
that, how would I map it out? Honestly, just having the things that I know I would want to do. And I read a lot or listen a lot about Proctor, just raising my frequency to the things that I'm looking for. Like for me personally, I didn't know before, but the only things that I'm really seeking in life is prosperity, wisdom, and understanding.
Mhm.
And that really came from me diving into the Word of God more recently, probably in the past like year or so. I was always raised in the church, but getting back to God and just like reading the Word, like it's definitely eye opening when you see like so many parts of the things that you do relate to something that's already was written down thousands of years ago. So my thing is, as long as I'm doing His will and not really focused on my own understanding of too much. I'm gonna just follow my intuition, and I know that eventually it'll build if those things are placed in my head. And
Yes.
really, what my end all goal is to be like, if somebody were to see Juice 30 years from now, I would only want them to even look at me and be like, you know what, if he can do it, I can do it too. Because I look at the next human, and if that next human can do it, I know that there's no way that I couldn't do it.
Absolutely.
So if anybody were to look at me, I just want them to be able to see that they could do it too, and they could build whatever they really want.
Absolutely. So that was actually my last question is what advice would you give someone from where you're standing today that was
I
just
know,
starting?
yeah, I know it's cliche, and I know everybody says it, but you can't quit. You really can't. Like and I read a quote the other day. Like the reason why you're stressing, the reason why you're like that you're hurting over this is because you're actually doing something really good. Like it's supposed to stress you. It's not supposed to be easy. There's days, and I know for um just entrepreneurs in general, there's days when our business will make our stomach hurt, and we may
Oh,
not even want to pick up our phone. Like we may not even want to deal with anything with it that day. Like you'll just have those days, and then maybe not the next day, but 2 or 3 days later, something great will happen in your business, and you're like, damn, like that's why I'm doing this. So we gotta the only way that you would continue to do so is if you keep working hard and you don't give up. Like two people that I really consider my mentors are Kobe and Nipsey. Like I was born in Los Angeles. Kobe Bryant was my favorite player ever.
yes.
Like
Yes.
he actually the day that he scored 81 points was on my 10th birthday, January 22nd, 2006. So for him and like Nipsey to like not be here anymore, but they really left a blueprint if you pay attention and listen to what they say. And it's nothing more than working hard, being curious, not quitting, not folding, and just understand that you can get better and continue to get better. So that's what I would tell anybody. Like, it doesn't matter what you want. If you want to be a ballerina, be the best fucking ballerina you could be. Like, my little sister wants to be a forensic scientist. Like, my goal isn't her goal, but be the best forensic scientist you can possibly be. You know that you might fail. You gonna fail a couple times. Like, but really, if it means something to you, you're gonna continue going, and that's and then in the end, you'll end up realizing something like way more than what your dream really, what you even thought it is. And that's like the beauty of it. So keep going, don't quit.
And
As cliche as it sounds.
and for our 2020 audience, you know what I mean? To look at it in like the modern perspective, especially with Kobe and Nipsey, like they say the average millionaire has 7 revenue streams, right?
Right.
So like personally, myself, I have like 3 books out on Amazon, multiple
That's good.
podcasts. I have all kinds of different little revenue streams. So they say rising tide rises all ships. So when you're good enough on one of them, all of them will bring in the revenue.
All of them will.
So
Hmm.
you all have to. So you have to keep on putting it out there,
Yeah.
man. Keep on putting
And
out.
it's I think it's really important, just how, like we said, Gary Vee is our guy. It's really important to find what you love. Like, I love trading, but I love the fact that I have an impact on people more than anything. Like,
Yes.
uh, I love the fact that, anybody could come to the org and learn like something about themselves, learn a skill. And like you said, forex is just a vehicle to do our initiatives that we really like, that we really want to do. Like, your vehicle is, what you're doing, the podcast and all these things and the books. Like, to really get your word across. And over time, like, can no one ever take your book away. Like, that shit is
No.
written down, that shit's out in the world. Like, now I feel the same way. Like, my impact is out in the world, and it's just from, and honestly, it's a blessing to even have. Like, that's the way I think about it. And all we got to do is continue to put it out, and our journeys or our dreams will be reached or realized.
Absolutely. So what does retirement look like for you? What do you see yourself? How do you see yourself retiring?
Man, retiring shit. Honestly, retiring, man. My thing, I got a thing that I say. People ask me how I'm doing. I'll say just juicing it. All I
Yeah.
want to do is live my life. Like, I really just enjoy shit, doing what I want to do. So retirement for me looks like making enough from forex to where in a day I could do whatever I want to in a day. I wake up at 5:30 to trade. I'm done trading by 8:30. So that would be my retirement, just doing that for fun, basically making my money from there and then going about my day. I'll probably
Yes.
be on vacation, probably chilling in Santorini or Portugal or something.
Yeah.
That's retirement. What does
Absolutely.
retirement look like for you? I'm curious.
Man, my entire life goal is very simple: passive income over expenses. So
Hmm.
every dime I'm putting in the stock market, every single move that I'm making right now during this time of distress is geared
Hmm.
towards 10x in my money and then dumping
Exactly.
it directly into a fourplex or some sort of rental property that produces passive income
I
and building a
produces
passive
income.
income portfolio greater than my
Right.
expenses. That way, it'll
Exactly.
enable me to do podcasting and not care. That'll enable me to
Exactly.
do whatever and not care. Then once it becomes something that I just do as a part of my day, as opposed to something I have to fit in with other parts of my schedule,
Exactly.
it changes the
It's
whole
over.
dynamic.
It's
Yes.
over. It's over, and that's beautiful because I feel the same way. Like, really, just working to get to that point to where once I'm able to do what I want to do all day, it's over. Like, life is gonna be beautiful. But I was watching Gary Vee yesterday, just like we said, and it's it's really enjoying the process. Like, we want
Yes.
this notoriety, we want this recognition, but something that I even wrote it down the other day once he said it, but really enjoying the process because he said the process to getting him spending the time in the liquor store was 1,000 times better than how he feels today. And it's like, damn, a piece of us will die. Like, once we like, fuck, I don't have to work as hard. I just get to do this. But it's beauty. It's what we love to do, and it's more. The purpose of why we do it is way more important than us doing it because like we want to or we feel like we should. The
Yeah.
purpose is a lot bigger than ourselves. So it's important for us to remember that and
I
anybody else
also
coming up.
I also love the evolution of his message, man. He like at first when I first started listening to him, it was I worked every day, the entire time, da 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 da, and then so
Right,
many people like adopted this like hustle culture that became kind of fucking toxic for people that weren't built that way.
right,
Now now his message is work what's best for you. Don't beat yourself up. If you
right,
have to take a Sunday off because whatever, do it
right,
and realize
right,
that he ain't sacrificing time for his family for business.
right. Finding that balance it's a hard thing because especially in the beginning, it's a conundrum. Like you're supposed to be putting so much time into your business at the beginning, but then you also have to find a balance because you had a life previously. Like, and us, we you can understand it. Like, but finding that balance is tough. But we all can do it. We're all capable of doing it. Like I used to sleep like 4 hours a night. Really, I probably slept 4 hours a night for maybe like 5 months or so. It was crazy, but I was willing to do that just so I can find every possible opportunity in the market. Now you couldn't pay me. Like I'm going to like I go to sleep. I have a set schedule when I trade. Like I don't trade outside that time, and it's gonna be what it is. From there. But
Perfect.
we got to find that balance.
So what did it take for you to find that structure?
Um, really ended up coming across, like I said, I'm the person to reach out to anybody really. There's like one of my good friends now, Amonpreet. He used to just reply to my stories on Instagram, like, "Damn, bro, nice setup or nice trade, whatever the case." And then one day
Yeah.
I just asked him, like, you want to be in WA, like, because I was seeing his setups too. I'm like, man, this kid's dope. And then from there, like he put me onto a course of what his strategy really was. And I'm the person I would never just anything I create. I really learned what my concept was from Zachary Hogan and Jordan Morgan, two people on Instagram. But they that the structure was there and it was easy to follow. And I'm the type of person, if I've been there once, I've been there twice. And if I see it written down, oh, I could definitely do that shit again. So
Yeah.
it was really a blessing to find that, and that really put the structure in place. So really the hard work was already done. I had so much understanding of the market already. Like the hard part was already done once I was able to put that piece together.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah,
Well, it's been great talking
bro,
with you, bud. We're gonna wrap it up for
it
now.
was great, bro. No, bro. I really appreciate you having me on, man, and hope to do something else with you in the future.
Absolutely. I'll
No
be in touch,
problem, my
bud.
brother. Sounds good, bro. You have a good one.
You too.